like to know about oblique incidence at a plane interface between two dielectric mediums. So here medium 2 is also a dielectric medium and medium 1 is also a dielectric medium which is having a different intrinsic impedances, okay, which is having a different intrinsic impedances. So let us know about these oblique incidence is studied in two different cases. So one is about a horizontal polarization and one is a vertical polarization. So before going to that, we will see about what is the refraction index of this oblique incidence. So let us know about the relation between in terms of science. So it is called as it's Lenz law of reflection. Okay, Lenz law of reflection is also we have studied under this video. So we'll see one by one.
We'll see about oblique incidence at a plane dielectric boundary. So in this we are considering two mediums separating a boundary. So the medium 1 is a lossless medium and the medium 2 is also a dielectric medium. So which is having a the two mediums are having a different permeabilities and permittivities and intrinsic impedances. Okay, now we'll see about oblique incidence at a plane dielectric boundary. So for that I am considering the diagram. So this is the x-axis and this is the z-axis. So this is the plane of incidence. So this y direction is always coming out. So as per the right hand rule, so we can say that as a thumb is pointing out the z direction and the forefinger is pointing out x direction and the middle finger is pointing out y direction, so it is coming out of the paper. So that way I indicated a dot. Okay, now the incident wave is approaching like this and it hits the boundary at z is equals to 0 interface. So at boundary it is called as a z is equals to 0. So I am taking a normal direction to the boundary. So this is the normal direction. So it is making an angle of theta I. The incident wave is making a normal with an angle of theta I. Theta I is the angle of incidence. So in this direction, okay. So the incident wave is propagating in this direction. In the same manner, if I choose another incident ray, so which is hits the boundary at an angle. So this is the another incident wave. Okay. So the incident wave is again reflected in this medium 1. So this is a medium 1 and this is medium 2. Okay. So this wave is reflected back in this direction. So this wave is also reflected back in this direction. Okay. So let us denoting the points whenever this is intersecting at whenever the incident wave intersecting at a plane of incidence. So I am pointing out A and this is a pointing out B. Okay, as the reflecting wave is moving in this propagating in this direction, so I am denoting the direction of a propagation of the reflected wave. Okay, this is the direction of a propagation of the reflected wave. Okay, now we'll see about a transmitted wave. So this reflected wave comes with an angle theta r. Now this transmitted wave will move like this. So the direction of propagation is in this direction. So it is making an angle with a normal as a theta t. Theta t is the angle of transmitted wave. Okay, angle of transmitted wave which is in medium 2. So far we have seen the perfect medium 2 as a perfect conductor. Now we'll see medium 2 as also a dielectric medium. Medium 1 is also a dielectric medium. So we are study about a oblique incidence at a plane dielectric medium. So that means this plane is now as a dielectric medium. So that means we are talking about a medium 1 and medium 2. Those are of pure dielectric mediums. Okay. Now if I take the wavefront of this incident wave which comes like this. Okay. So the unit vector along of this incident wave is ANI, which is in this direction. Okay. Now we'll see about a reflected wave. This is the reflected wave. So the wavefront of this reflected wave is in this direction. So the unit vector is also in the same direction of the propagation of the reflected waveform, which is indicated as ANR. ANR is the unit vector of the reflected wave. Now we'll see about a unit vector of a transmitted wave, which is in this is the wavefront. Okay, this is in the same direction of the propagation of the transmitted wave. So the unit vector ANT is the unit vector of a propagation of the transmitted wave, which is in the same direction as the propagation of a transmitted wave. Okay, so these are the unit vectors. So and these are the wavefronts of the incident wave and reflected wave and transmitted wave. Now these incident vectors, according to the geometry, I am taking this incident vector as this wavefront as indicated here. Okay, at point A it is represented with a dotted line. Okay, so this is making a point called as a C of the incident. Okay, in the same manner, if I project this wavefront at point B, so this is again having another point, this is called D. Okay, in the same manner, if I project the transmitted wavefront at this particular point, you'll having like this. So this is another point E. Okay, now this is again seen with another diagram. You can understand. The above diagram can be redrawn like this. So you can see this AC is a perpendicular bisector of this incident wave, and BD is a perpendicular bisector of this reflected wave, and BE is a perpendicular bisector of this transmitted waveform. Okay, now you can see the triangle ACB is a one right angle triangle, and ADB is another right angle triangle, and AEB is another right angle triangle. So three triangles. So that if this is a theta I, so the triangle ACB, so the angle of CAB is nothing but a theta I. If this is theta I, so the angle of reflected waveform is nothing but from triangle ABD. So you can say this is a theta R. Okay, so if we can say this is a AEB, so the angle between the angle BAE is nothing but a theta T. If this is a theta T, then the triangle is according to similarity of triangles, so we can say this is the angle of a theta T. Okay, so from these triangles we can observe that the time taken to complete or strikes the interface of a electromagnetic wave, whether it may be either incident wave or reflected wave or a transmitted wave, is nothing but a, so according to this triangle, so if you take, so from the incident triangle, so that is nothing but a theta I triangle, so the tan theta is nothing but a sin theta I is equals to, from this triangle CAB, triangle CAB, from the triangle you can say the angle of opposite to side theta is nothing but a CB by AB is a hypotenuse. Okay, and from triangle DBA, so what is the sin theta R? Sin theta R is nothing but a, opposite side to theta is nothing but a AD by AB is a hypotenuse. Okay, so from the triangle ABE, okay, so the sin theta T is nothing but opposite side to theta is nothing but a AE by hypotenuse is nothing but a AB. Okay, so we can say the sine of theta I is nothing but CB by AB, and the sine of theta R is nothing but a AD by AB, and sine of theta T is nothing but a AE by AB according to the triangles. Okay, so that we can say the t value is nothing but time taken to complete the electromagnetic wave, which is nothing but incident wave, which is equals to reflected wave, which is equals to transmitted wave. So that we can say, so time is nothing but distance by velocity, so that we can say the time taken to complete the incident wave is nothing but a time taken, distance is nothing but a cb by velocity in the medium 1 is nothing but a v1, okay, which is equals to incident completed. Okay, now reflected, coming to the reflected waveform. So this is the reflected waveform. The distance traveled by the reflected waveform in a time t is nothing but ad by v1. Okay, now we will see for the transmitted wave. So for the transmitted wave, the time taken or distance covered by the transmitted wave is nothing but a to e, which is belongs to the transmitted wave medium, is belongs to transmitted wave belongs to the medium 2. So this is considered as a medium 2. So the velocity in the medium 2 is nothing but v2. Okay, so from this equation we want to derive the expression for a what is the condition of which is existing from the oblique incidence at a plane conduct dielectric medium. Okay, so I am equating the first two equations, which is nothing but cb by v1 and ad by v1. So cb is nothing but from the sine theta I. What is the sine theta I? Sine theta is nothing but cb by ab. So from this cb is equals to ab sine theta I. So I am replacing cb with ab sine theta I. Okay, so now what is the ad value? So from the triangle theta r is sine theta r, sine theta is nothing but ad by ab. So ad is equals to, we can write ab sine theta r. Okay, so now I am replacing ad with ab sine theta r in this expression. Okay, so that cb is equals to ad cb is nothing but ab sine theta I, ad is nothing but ab sine theta r. So both sides you are cancelling ab, so you'll get a sine theta I is equals to sine theta r, so that we can say theta I is equals to theta r from this equation. Now we'll see the equation 1 and 3, comparing the equation. So this is the time taken for the incident wave, this is the time taken for the transmitted wave. So cb by v1, cb can be written as from the theta triangle acb, so that we can say cb is equals to ab sine theta I. So I am substituting cb as ab sine theta I from the triangle aeb, so that we can say ae is nothing but ab sine theta t. Okay, so by dividing these two, ab sine theta I by ab sine theta t, so you got a relationship between these two. Sine theta of a incident waveform theta I by sine of theta t transmitted wave is equals to v1 by v2. As we know that velocity is nothing but angular velocity by phase constant, which is nothing but omega by beta. So v1 can be written as omega by beta 1. Okay, v2 can be written as omega by beta 2. So with that we get beta 2 by beta 1. Sine theta I by theta t is equals to beta 2 by beta 1. So we know that refractive index n is the refractive index. Next, n is the refractive index, is the ratio of velocity of the light to velocity of the medium. So velocity of the light is given by c and velocity of the medium is given by v. So that we want the relationship for the sine theta I theta t in terms of refractive index. So that I am deriving that here sine theta I by theta t is equals to v1 by v2. We already derived this. B is equals to beta 2 by beta 1. So now n1 is equals to, n1 is the refractive index of the incident waveform or medium 1. So which is nothing but the n1 is equals to c by v1, velocity of the medium 1. C is the velocity of the light. Okay, n2 is the refractive index of the transmitted wave, which is nothing but a c by velocity of the transmitted medium, which is nothing but medium 2 v2. Okay, so now in order to get v1 by v2, so I am dividing 2 by 1. So n2 by n1. So n2 by n1 is equals to, we'll get v1 by v2. So that I am writing as sine theta I by theta t is equals to v1 by v2 is equals to beta 2 by beta 1 is equals to n2 by n1. Okay, so this is the relationship I got from this expression. Okay, I got from this diagram. Okay, So now we'll see about intrinsic impedance, so that we have already got the expression as a V1 is equals to 1 by, we know the relationship of the velocity is nothing but a 1 by mu1 root over 1 by root over mu1 epsilon 1. So in the same way I can denote for a medium 2, velocity of the medium 2 can be written as mu2 epsilon 2. So here mu1 and mu2 are the different permeabilities, so that here we can say, assuming mu1 and mu2 is nothing but a mu naught, so that we can say, so so sin theta I by theta t is equals to v1 by v2, which is equals to 1 by mu naught, where mu1 is equals to mu naught epsilon 1 by 1 by root over, from this equation mu2 is also equals to mu naught epsilon 2, so that you got root over epsilon 2 by epsilon 1. So this is another expression obtained for this ratio. So sin theta I by theta t is equals to root over epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 from this velocities equation. So now I want intrinsic impedance. So you know that intrinsic impedance eta can be denoted with root over mu by epsilon. Okay, mu by epsilon. So you can see here, so the intrinsic impedance is given by root over mu by epsilon. So here mu1 is treated as a mu naught. In the same manner I have represented the intrinsic impedance of a medium 2, which is nothing but eta 2 is equals to mu2 by epsilon 2. Mu2 can be written as mu naught here, root over mu naught by epsilon. So now I want a relationship in terms of this. So in the same manner is nothing but v1 by v2, sin theta I by theta t is equals to v1 by v2, which is equals to 1 by root over mu naught epsilon 1 by 1 by root over mu naught by epsilon 2. So from this equation, so I can write 1 by root over mu naught by epsilon 2 by 1 by root over mu naught by epsilon 1. So from this equation we can say this is a 1 by root over mu epsilon 2 multiplied with root over epsilon 1, so that this is a intrinsic impedance 1. So eta 1 by, you will get here as a eta 1 by eta 2. So from this equation we can say that sin theta I by theta t is equals to eta 1 by eta 2. So from this derivation we can say that sin theta I by theta sin theta t is equals to v1 by v2, which is equals to beta 2 by beta 1, which is equals to, we have already derived the here v1 by v2 is equals to n2 by n1, n2 by n1, which is equals to, so we have already got the expression eta 1 by eta 2. So this is the relation of an incident waveform to the transmitted waveform in terms of sine. So this is the relationship. So the next topic is about the total reflection. So in this we consider a plane of incidence. So xz plane is a plane of incidence, and you know that y direction is always normal to this xz plane, so it is indicated with dot. Okay, and if you consider a normal direction, this is a normal direction, so the incident wave hits the boundary with an angle which is called as a theta I, and some part of the wave is reflected back with an angle is theta r. Theta r is the angle of reflection. Okay, so this is the direction of propagation of the reflected waveform. Okay, and when the total reflection takes place means this angle of incidence increases, so that what happens is angle of a transmitted wave will also increase with the angle of incidence, so if it is increasing means the angle of transmission is also increasing in the anti-clockwise direction. Suppose so in this fashion, if this angle of incidence is increasing in this fashion, so the angle of transmission is also increasing in this fashion, and it is aligned to the boundary or interface. Okay, so this is called as a transmitted wave. This is the transmitted wave. So this transmitted wave is intersecting the axis or interface. So at that instant, this theta I is equals to theta C. So that means there is complete reflection takes place. There is no transmission wave. The angle of incidence at which the total reflection takes place is nothing but a critical angle. The angle of incidence at which the total reflection takes place is nothing but a critical angle. It is denoted with the theta C. Theta C is a critical angle. Beyond this, there is no transmission. Entire reflection wave entire the waveform is reflected back here. So this is called the total reflection concept. So this is the incident waveform and this is the reflected waveform, and this at theta is equals to theta t is equals to pi by 2, the total reflection takes place. At theta t is equals to pi by 2, total reflection takes place. Okay, in order to explain more, so you consider this is a medium 1, this is a medium 2. So medium 2 is more denser than medium 1, so this is the epsilon 2. Here we considering epsilon 1 is greater than epsilon 2. At that instant, the angle of incidence should be greater than the theta t transmitted wave, so that angle of incidence is theta t transmitted waveform should be greater than the angle of incidence. So what happens if the transmitted waveform, if the angle of incidence is increasing, if theta I is increases, theta t will also increase. So if it reaches to the pi by 2, then there is no if it reaches the transmitted waveform angle reaches to the pi by 2, so it is interfacing with the axis. So the transmitted waveform is interface with the axis or interface with the boundary. Okay, so at that instant the reflection takes place, the total reflection takes place. Why? Because there is no transmitted waveform. Okay, the at that instant the angle of incidence is equals to the critical angle. Okay, the angle of incidence at which there is no reflection, there is no transmission takes place. At that instant, that is called as a critical angle. Okay, theta C. At that instant, theta C. So theta C is a critical angle. So when it happens means theta t is equals to pi by 2, then the angle of incidence must be equals to critical angle. So it is denoted by theta C. Okay, beyond which there is no transmission wave, the entire waveform is reflected back. So that is called the total reflection. Now I want a relationship of a theta C. Theta C is nothing but a critical angle. So in order to know that, so we'll take this relationship theta I sin theta I by sin theta t, which is equals to you got the expression as root over epsilon 2 by epsilon 1. Okay, so from this equation, so I am substituting theta I in the place of theta C at theta t is equals to pi by 2. So I am substituting here. When theta t is equals to pi by 2, so theta I can be written as theta C. Okay, so now by using the relation theta I by theta sin theta I by theta C is equals to root over epsilon 2 by epsilon 1. So at theta t is equals to pi by 2, so I am substituting theta I is equals to theta C by theta pi by 2. So I'll get root over epsilon 2 by epsilon 1. So sin theta C is equals to root over sin pi by 2 is nothing but 1, root over epsilon 2 by epsilon 1. So theta C is a critical angle, so which is denoted as sin inverse of root over epsilon 2 by epsilon 1. So this is a critical angle. Okay, so when this angle of incidence is equals to critical angle, total reflection takes place. This is the concept of total reflection. Okay,